Welcome to a special three-part journey into the landscapes and philosophies of Northern Europe. I recently had the opportunity to travel through Finland, Sweden, and Norway, experiencing not only their breathtaking landscape, but also the quiet cultural rhythms that shape life in these northern countries. Across Finland, Sweden, and Norway, nature shapes not only the land, but the way people think, live, and understand life itself. Vast forests, deep fjords, long winters, quiet lakes, and cultures that evolved in close dialogue with the natural world. In this three-part series, we'll explore these countries not just as destinations, but as living philosophies. What does the Finnish sauna reveal about purification and resilience? What does Swedish idea of balance teach us about living with just enough? What can Norway's mountains and fjords show us about courage and vastness? For me, travel has always been more than just movement across geographies. Sometimes it's a way of seeing ourselves more clearly. So join me as we explore Scandinavia, where landscape, culture, and reflection come together to offer something deeper than tourism. A journey into place, perspective, and the quiet wisdom of the North. Finland, the sacred heat, silent forests, and the inner landscape. If you travel far north into Europe, beyond the familiar cities and into the quieter edges of the continent, you arrive in a land that feels both ancient and contemplative. Finland. Finland is often called the land of 1,000 lakes, though in truth it's far more than that. Lakes appear everywhere, between forests, besides villages, reflecting skies that change with the seasons. And forests. Forests that stretch endlessly across the landscape. When you first arrive, you notice something subtle. The country is quiet, not empty, but quiet in a way that feels intentional. Finland is one of the most sparsely populated countries in Europe, and nature dominates the geography. People live close to forests, lakes, snow, and long winter skies. But what's most fascinating about Finland is not just its landscape. It is how culture has evolved around them. One of the most iconic elements of Finnish culture is the sauna. In Finland, there are over 3 million saunas for a population of about 5.5 million people. That means almost every home, every cabin, every lakeside retreat has one. But the sauna is not simply a place to sweat. Historically, it was considered a sacred space. Babies were born in saunas. Healing rituals happened in saunas. Families gathered there to cleanse not only the body, but the mind. The ritual is simple. You sit in a wooden room heated by stones. Water is poured onto the hot rocks, creating steam that fills the space. The heat intensifies. The body begins to release tension, and suddenly you step outside into cold air, sometimes even jumping into an icy lake. Hot, cold, silence. And in that moment, something curious happens. The mind becomes extremely clear. Across cultures, we see similar purification rituals, sweat lodges in Native American traditions, steam baths in ancient Rome, hot springs in Japan. It seems humanity instinctively understands something. Transformation often begins with purification. The sauna becomes a metaphor. Just as heat releases toxins from the body, life experiences release the accumulated tensions of the mind. And perhaps that's why Finns hold this ritual so close to their identity. But beyond the sauna lies another defining feature of Finland, the forest. Nearly 3/4 of Finland is covered in woodland. Walking through these forests is not dramatic in the way mountains or oceans are dramatic. Instead, the experience is quiet, immersive, almost meditative. Tall pine trees filter the light. Lakes appear unexpectedly through the woods. The air feels clean, almost crystalline. Finns have a concept known as every man's right. It means that anyone can walk through forests, pick berries, or enjoy nature regardless of land ownership. Nature belongs to everyone. And perhaps because of this relationship with the natural world, Finland consistently ranks among the happiest countries on earth. But happiness here doesn't look like exuberance. It looks like calm. It looks like balance. It looks like a quiet person sitting beside a lake at sunset. Scientists studying forest environments have found that spending time among trees actually changes human physiology. Heart rates slow, stress hormones drop, cognitive clarity improves. Some researchers even speak of something called forest bathing, a Japanese concept that describes how simply being present in nature recalibrates the nervous system. When you walk through Finnish forest, you begin to sense something deeper. Perhaps the human mind was never meant to exist in constant noise. Perhaps our inner landscape needs forests just as much as our lungs need air. And in Finland, this relationship between people and nature has shaped the culture itself. The Finnish word sisu describes a kind of quiet resilience, a determination that persists through difficulty. Long winters, dark months, cold landscapes, and yet people endure, adapt, and find meaning in simplicity. If you travel through Finland in winter, the days are short and the nights are long. The sun barely rises above the horizon, but this darkness creates its own beauty. Snow reflects the faint light of the sky. Stars appear with unusual clarity, and sometimes, if conditions are right, the sky itself begins to move. Curtains of green, violet, yellow, and pink light sweep across the darkness. Yes, the northern lights. For centuries, people believed these lights were messages from the spirit world. Today, science tells us they are caused by solar particles interacting with Earth's magnetic field. But standing beneath them, watching the sky come alive with color, you realize something simple. Understanding the physics does not diminish the wonder. If anything, it deepens it. In the long winter nights of northern Finland, when the forests fall silent and the lakes freeze into still mirrors of ice, something extraordinary sometimes appears in the sky. It begins quietly, a faint glow on the horizon. Then a ribbon of green light slowly stretches across the darkness. And before long, the sky itself seems to come alive. It starts dancing. These are the northern lights called the Aurora Borealis. For centuries, people living in the Arctic regions watched these lights with wonder and curiosity. In Finnish folklore, they were called revontulet. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but that translates to foxfires. According to legend, a magical Arctic fox would run across the snowy hills, its tail brushing against the mountains and sending sparks of light up into the sky. Isn't that a wonderful story? Today, science offers another explanation, of course. The aurora is created when charged particles from the sun collide with the Earth's magnetic field high in the atmosphere. These collisions release energy in the form of glowing colors, greens, purples, and sometimes even red waves, move silently across the night. Yet standing beneath the northern lights, the scientific explanation almost fades into the background because the experience is deeply emotional. The sky moves slowly, almost like a living painting unfolding above you. The forests below remain completely still, and in that moment, you feel a sense of scale, a reminder that our planet is a part of a much larger cosmic system. In a world filled with constant movement and noise, the northern lights invite us to pause and simply watch their dance. They remind us that the universe is not static, it's dynamic, alive with energy, and constantly interacting with the earth we inhabit. And perhaps that's why witnessing the aurora feels so profound. For a few quiet minutes, under the shifting lights of the Arctic sky, we are reminded that we are not separate from the cosmos. We are part of its unfolding story. Perhaps the greatest lesson Finland offers is not a philosophy written in books. It's something quieter. Heat and cold, silence and reflection, forest and water, and the dancing lights. A reminder that the most profound experiences in life often arrive when we slow down enough to notice them. And maybe that is the real Finnish wisdom. Sometimes the mind clears not by searching harder for answers, but by sitting quietly beside a lake deep into the midnight, letting the forest think with you. If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like the videos and subscribe to get regular updates. And do share the videos you like with others who may find them useful.